Good morning, everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful day. My name is Philip, and thank you so much for watching the Driver Side Chats. So, in the last video, I had said I was going to talk about my experience at the Porsche dealership this past weekend and the experience that I had there. It was very awesome. But when I said that, I said I was going to do it tomorrow. Then I forgot that tomorrow would have been July 4th. So, I was a little bit off there, and I apologize because I had a lot of things going on yesterday. It was very, very busy, and I didn't get to do it. I mean, of course, being July 4th, we had a lot of things going on that day. So anyway, I'd like to discuss my experience at the Porsche dealership. So we were in Durham, where they have Porsche at South Point. Really nice dealership. They didn't have a huge inventory. I have seen a couple of Porsche dealerships that were larger, so I'm not criticizing it. It wasn't a huge dealership, but man, they did pack a punch. So if you're into cars and the whole car scene, so it was a Porsche dealership. Obviously, they had a bunch of Porsches. So my wife and I would get there, and obviously, I'm not in the current position to go out and buy a Porsche. You know, it just is not feasible for us right now. It probably won't be feasible for a good while. However, they had one there that I love. In my mind, I've debated back and forth if I were ever to get a Porsche, if I would get an automatic transmission or like the PDK, or if I'd get a manual transmission. And in my mind, I'm thinking more along the lines right now of going for the PDK system. Just because, although I love the manual transmission, every Porsche I've ever driven has been a manual. I feel like I'd almost rather go ahead and just get the PDK, because if I want it in the manual transmission, I can always put it into the manual mode. But if I just want to have like a relaxing drive on like a Sunday afternoon, I can put it in automatic mode and just drive it like a normal person and don't have to worry about shifting, and I just let the car do it itself, which to me seems to make sense if you want the best of both worlds. Plus, if you're really trying to get the best out of, like, you know, your sportiness, you know, you have the quicker shifting with the PDK system. Not that that's a huge factor, but I mean, I'm sure you kind of get the general idea. So anyway, my color is like a navy blue, royal blue, something in that ballpark. You know, not necessarily to give it a specific color, more towards navy blue color. Just because I love that dark blue, but it's not black. Oh man, to me, I love it. Don't have anything against the black vehicle. I like blue. Really love blue. So they had one there, and my all-time dream in getting a sports car is I've always wanted a convertible. I've driven a few convertibles. Every single time I've driven one, I've loved it, and I intend to do that with my first sports car. It will definitely be a convertible unless somebody just gives me a monster deal on a hardtop. Which, if it's just a really, really good deal, then I may give in, but I really do want a convertible. Well, they had a dark blue, brand new 911 Carrera 4S Cabriolet. It was my dark blue. It was the automatic transmission. It was the convertible, and oh my goodness, it was amazing. The guy gave me the key, let me turn it on, start it up, and got to rev it a little bit, hear the sport exhaust sound of the standard exhaust. Oh man, it was a really, really cool experience. Well, this was all outside. I hadn't actually gone inside, because if you go to high dollar dealerships, which Porsche might not be considered high dollar in most cases when you have Ferraris, Lamborghinis, but in nicer dealerships, if you get to go inside, I highly recommend it, because generally, if they've got anything that's worth looking at, generally they've got it inside. The nicer cars tend to be on the inside. Like if you want to see a Hellcat or like a Shelby or a Camaro ZL1, you know, you can go to the dealerships and they're going to be sitting those in the showroom just because those are the nice cars. Well, here's what I did. I went into their showroom, and here's what I found. They had a 2018 911 Carrera T, which I don't know if you consider those rare, but it's kind of like the new 911. But they also had, I don't remember what year this came out. I think it was a 997. It might have been a 991. I don't remember. But they had a GT3 RS 4.0. which another extremely rare Porsche, but a classic. Then they had a 1950s Porsche. I don't know what kind it was. It might have been a 356. I really couldn't tell you. I don't remember. But it was amazing. It was gorgeous. But then the one that stuck out to me the most, and I've only seen one of these, and I only saw it for a split second, and I only saw the tail end. I saw in there they had a Porsche Carrera GT. Now for me, that was like the Porsche of my childhood. You know, if you wanted to see a really, really nice Porsche, the Carrera GT was like the bomb.com. And I really loved it. But anyway, I saw somebody I knew, sorry. So that was like, that was a big deal for me, seeing the Carrera GT. I would take a Carrera GT over 918 any day, just because I guess I'm getting to that point where I'm getting a little older, and some of the cars of my childhood are becoming older. And I know this is kind of weird. I'm gonna kind of go on a little side trail here. I'm really notorious for that, but you know, when I was younger, much younger, like 12, 13 years old, it never really clicked to me why older people would always talk about the cars of the 60s and 70s, or even maybe the 50s. And I was like, why would you ever want to look at something like that when you got the 2003 Lamborghini Murcielago? And you know, it never really clicked for me. Well, now I'm 23, so I'm still pretty young. I'm not gonna sit here and try to say that I'm some old guy, but you know, I'm starting to appreciate the cars of the late 90s and early 2000s. When I was just a kid. I was born in 94, by the way, sorry about the sun glare. I was born in 1994, and so when I was about 11 or 12, the Carrera GT came out, give or take. I forget the exact year it came out, but that was like my childhood car. And then my dad's coworker had a 95 Viper, and even that was just so cool to me. Just you know, so even through the years watching the new generation of Vipers, of course, my dad's coworker had a 95 RT10 Roadster. Loved it, great car. But then 97 came the GTS, and then they had the RT10 a couple years after that, even in the early 2000s, I think. And then they transformed the body, I believe, in 04, 05 region, and had the SRT10. And then a couple years later, they came out with the ACR, which was really, really nice. And then after that, of course, they stopped making Vipers for a couple of years, and a company called SRT, which was basically just a spin-off of Dodge, I think, came out with the SRT10, or the SRT Viper, that's what it was. And gorgeous, gorgeous car, brand new body style. And then Dodge came back and made the Viper again for 1 or 2 years, and because they didn't sell enough units, they ended up just stopping production altogether, which honestly, sad thing. I really, really hate that happened, but you know, just I appreciate the 90s Viper a lot more than I do, you know, the 2013, 2014, 2015 Vipers, just because, you know, you just, childhood nostalgia. It's something that happened. But anyway, so going back to the Porsche dealership, you know, I had this awesome experience, got to sit in the 911 that really is kind of my dream car. I initially said all I really want is just a 911 Carrera Cabriolet. Didn't need anything like super, super fancy. Just needed something that would be a Porsche, where I could get the leather with the heated, cooled seats and like a navigation system on it. And maybe a few bells and whistles. I didn't really care to have the carbon ceramic brakes, or, you know, I didn't have to have a turbo, like a 911 turbo. You know, I just wanted a 911. I think they look sharp. I wanted it to be a convertible, and I could have done that on that model. So, but, you know, watching a couple reviews and kind of learning a little bit more about Porsches and 911s altogether, I might end up going for the Carrera S Cabriolet, which, of course, I'm saying this now when it's probably easily 15 years or more away from me ever getting one. But you understand the idea that I'm trying to get across here. I'm thinking about just moving up. That way I have a little bit more power, a couple more nicer features to it as far as, you know, the racing thing goes. Not much on racing, but it would be kind of nice to have the performance to go on a track with. And, you know, I guess we'll see how it pans out. I'll certainly let you guys know when I get one, and hopefully that'll be 15 years, or who knows, maybe even sooner. But anyway, so that'll end up today's video. Enjoy the Porsche dealership. If you ever get an opportunity to go to a dealership, do it. It's a lot of fun. But I hope you guys had a great 4th of July. Maybe tonight I'm going to put some firework videos up that I took. But hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you next video.